Hi everyone, and welcome to the Tarot Circle. I'm Ali, and it's the 30th of July and the 31st of July, wherever you are in the world. We've got a very special guest today who will be coming on shortly. But first of all, how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? We live in strange times. We live in interesting times. How are you, Bob? How are you doing? And we'll start with you.
Oh, lots going on. We had some unfortunate news in my family, and so we had to go through that. And but it was good to see everybody together. And it just seems like a lot of energy just coming from everywhere, and a lot of people are saying the same thing, like weird things
Yeah.
are happening, and
Yeah.
it's time is speeding up even more.
Oh my God,
Weird.
time. What's happening with time at the moment? It's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's good to be back because it's the first video that I have done in how many shows?
I think this is, oh, you missed two. You missed two,
You
right?
missed two.
Yeah.
Two really important shows, but I was there with in spirit.
You always
Traveling.
were in spirit, Barb. I hear you always
Traveling.
in spirit. It's good to have you back, mate. Good to have you back. Kaila, how you doing today? Gorgeous.
Good. I'm good. Today, I have to agree with Bob. It's been quite intense energy in the last week, and I don't know where it's been coming from. It's just been intense. I don't know if Lynn is feeling the same. What about you, Lynn?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That good.
I had to take a 5-foot black snake out of the chicken coop. We got rain, which we needed today. I don't know, just a normal day on the farm.
Right.
Have you seen a lot of snakes this year? Because we haven't. Well, I haven't seen any snakes around here personally, and I often see a bunch of snakes.
Well, as you guys know, I had to take care of those 3 copperheads that were in my garage. And then there was a copperhead in the coop. I've had 2 black snakes in the coop, and I just saw one the other day come out of part of my garden. It was funny. I turned the hose on and I see the snake shoot out. So it must have thought it was an animal. I'm like, what are you doing? That's cold well water. You don't want that.
Oh my goodness. You are superwoman, Lynn, dealing with all of this on your own.
I'd be scared. I'd be, crapping my pants seeing a snake out there like that. I mean, and I like snakes. I like snakes.
The black snake yesterday was hysterical because he had an egg in his mouth, so he couldn't do anything. And I have the snake grabber, and he just started coming up. I'm like, oh, please, you don't scare me.
Good for you.
And I really like snakes because, I was a snake handler at the zoo. There was a show at the zoo, and I was a snake handler.
Really?
And then, when you're a tourist, they have these snakes on the street, and you can pay to put them around your neck, and I do that. But if I see a snake in the wild like that, I don't know. I don't know how I do.
I had 2 boa constrictors when I was in college too. So.
Oh my goodness.
Well, hats off to you, Lynn. Hats off to you.
So
For sure.
So my dog wants to be on the video here. This is Millie.
Oh,
look at
Hi, Millie.
And I think there's a thunderstorm coming, which is why she's trying to get in my lap, basically. Anyway, so if you guys like our hello baby, like like our content, please like, share, and subscribe. We're here on YouTube, we're on Rumble, and we've got a little Facebook page as well. So please do join us there. So let's do some energy clearing first, shall we? Before we bring Meg on. So let's, oh, hello, baby. Millie, shall I introduce you to the girls, baby? Yeah, so over to you, Kaila and Lynn, to clear the energy for us today.
Hello, everyone. So very happy to be with everyone today and super excited for our special guest. So for today's meditation, I was guided to the fact that many people are going through a hard time right now for whatever reason. But I was intuitively told that if you are an empath or sensitive to energy in any way, you may be also feeling the emotional energy, not just of the collective and what other people are going through, but you may also be feeling into the energy of the fight between good and evil that's happening behind the scenes. And we know this is heating up. For this reason, I feel it's super important to not only keep white light protection constantly around us, but I also felt it's very important to ask for and to continuously fill ourselves with that loving energy of the color green, which helps to open and fill the heart space. So as we go into the sound clearing, let's visualize both white light protection as well as loving energy in the form of green light energy coming from source and filling our heart space, entire bodies, and going out into the world to whoever needs it. So we ask God, source, our angels and spirit guides, and energy of the highest frequency for our highest good only to remain, and everything else must leave now. Over to you, Lynn.
Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Kaila. Super. Right, so let's have a little chat about what's been going on in the world, shall we?
It's going to take more than a little chat for that, that's for sure. Ooh, good child.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Right. So actually we've just got Meg who's just about to come in. So let's let Meg in, and then we'll have a little bit of a chit chat about what's been going on in the world. I'm sure she's got some fun stuff that she wants to talk to us about as well.
Hello.
Hey Meg, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on at stupid o'clock there.
Oh, it's all good. I'm up at ridiculous hours, so
Oh, thanks. No, really lovely to have
all
you
of
here.
you. Yeah.
So for people that don't know you, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown of who you are.
Okay.
So Meg Moonbeam is well versed in Western astrology, having studied and practiced since an early age. It is her passion and pleasure to share the gift of astrology and mystic arts to the world. She has conducted over 1,000 personal readings. Wow. She is an intuitive, psychic, medium, musician, as well as shamanic practitioner. Meg has been a part of the world-renowned Beyond Mystic platform since 2022. We were just saying the other day, we can't believe it's 2 years. Where have 2 years gone? What the hell? And you also say that you're a bit of a rebel, which I love because that's me as well. And you were nominated for a Toronto Independent Music Award in 2017. Amazing. She comes from a background of astrologers and psychic mediums. She says, I believe we are all magical and so is life, and that a balanced and open mind, body, spirit connection is our natural state. She is passionate about supporting people on their journeys on earth through the mystical, musical and creative arts, and she's recently got married to Jans. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Wow, thank you.
So let me just introduce the ladies to you. So we all met because we did the Tarot by Janine tarot course,
Cool.
which I don't know how long ago. We've been doing these videos for about 9 months now, but we started practicing with each other for what, a good 6
Almost
months
2 years.
before that? Yeah.
It's been actually over a year. It's been actually over a year.
God. And we were having these great chats, and we're thinking, we need to record this because this is really fun. And so that's what started it off. So let me introduce you, go around. So we've got Kaila with the lovely shawl on. So she lives in Canada, so hopefully you can meet up for tea when you're back there. And she's a mum to 2 gorgeous children, and she's, as well as being an amazing tarot reader, she's developing her spiritual ability. She has feng shui, energy healing. And is there anything else you're particularly working on at the moment, Kaila?
That's pretty much it. Well, besides trying to empower everyone in their own self-healing and stuff, and like fulfilling my life mission, well, yeah, that's about it.
Jeez.
It's so nice to have you, Meg. We're so very grateful that you're on.
I'm grateful to be here. You all have a beautiful energy, so I'm very happy to join you.
Oh, bless you. And then we got Barbara in, who's looking gorgeous. She's just been on holiday in Italy, but she's had all sorts of fun and games recently. She lives in Florida, and as well as being a tarot reader, she is a singer and entertainer. So maybe a little bit of a collaboration, you know.
Well, you never know. You never know. Maybe today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I come from a really big family.
Song at the end.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see what makes sense. But yeah, Meg, thank you again for coming on, and it's really nice to have you, and thank you for taking time out to do this.
Yeah.
And yeah, what did you say?
Sorry. Well, I know Ally. I've met Ally already online. And Lynn, have I met you before? I feel like
I'm in your Astrology 1 and 2, and you've done a reading for me. And there's another thing we're going to bring up in a minute too.
Okay,
There's something else hidden. There's something else hidden. But anyway, yes, I'm an entertainer as well. That's what I do as my day job. I do parties and weddings and bar mitzvahs and sing on yachts, you know, because in Florida, that's a big business down here.
Fancy things.
And I finally started getting into my spirituality and learning tarot, and no matter what a lot of people say, I'm pushing through, because you know everybody goes to that thing like, oh, what are you doing? What is that? Oh, that's bad. That's the devil and that stuff. So I'm still kind of going through that, but it doesn't bother me as much. So, but as soon as I get on the stage, I forget all about all that, you know, doubt that different ones try to put on me though. And that's it.
Beautiful.
Cool. And then Lynn, so she's got a small holding / homestead in Virginia. She's got 10 dogs, and as well as working for a family business, she does sound healing. She makes herbal concoctions for her apothecary. She's a student of your astrology and all things woo. You're working on so many things, Lynn, aren't you? And so this is really interesting. This is kind of Lynn and your connection. Lynn, have you got that video up? So back in, was it October, Lynn?
I think it was her November. It was the Mars
Cazimi. Yes. Yeah.
Mars Cazimi.
Yeah. So you had you were doing a show, Meg, and you channeled a friend of Lynn.
My friend Lisa.
Okay.
Do you remember that? She stayed with you that whole show.
I do. That is actually so weird, because I swear I thought of that the other day out of nowhere.
Oh, really? How bizarre.
Wow.
Yeah.
How bizarre. So so you kind of, that's a weird kind of connection. There's always there's never coincidences, are there? Never.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, Lynn. Now I know who that was.
Now you know who it was, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I giggle because every time you speak in an English accent, it seemed like Lisa had you doing that in that show. And I always wonder, is she channeling her again? Just playing with her?
It might be, because I do feel a lot to be in that British accent, and it's out of nowhere, and I don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
That was wonderful to see that. Really wonderful. I mean, I got goosebumps when I saw that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was.
I called her daughter, and I'm like, "You have to go live. Your mom's channeling through."
Oh my God.
I was watching. I saw Lynn's name come across the screen. It's like, is that our Lynn?
Yeah, me too. I was watching. I said, "Is that?" Because sometimes when we connect to your show, and a lot of times everybody connects at the same time, and you see a different lens and everything. When I saw that, I was like, is that Lynn H? Yeah, and that was nice, very nice. And she stayed with you the whole show, the whole.
She did, yeah.
That's nuts,
That
isn't
was
it?
fun. She has a very fun energy.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So Meg, we have
Awesome.
got lots of questions for you, but you've come on today because we want to talk about you, and we want to pull cards for you because we think
that's exciting.
and as you know, like tarot and astrology is kind of really mixed up, should we say? And I mean, I know a little bit about astrology, but I'm not as good as Lynn, and obviously not as much as you. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to get your take on things. So what are you currently working on at the moment, Meg, that you're really excited about?
Oh my gosh, a bunch of different things. Well, I'm going to be doing, I've done tarot level 1 and tarot level 2 in the past year. And actually this week, I'm going to be doing this special Astrology of Abundance workshop. It's going to be a live workshop.
Cool.
Jean-Claude actually kind of inspired the idea for me because we're getting a lot of feedback from people in our community wondering about the financial side of things and abundance. And I said, well, why don't I do an astrology workshop on that? Because I can talk about the financial transits that we've got coming up this year for all signs for 2024 and beyond. And I'm also going to do readings for each of the 12 signs, how to be abundant going into the future. And it's not just about, being rich or something like that, but those of us that are light workers, that are way showers for the age of Aquarius, we need to be in abundance to co-create and invest in this new world. It's not going to be done for us.
Yeah.
So that's really my baseline intention with that. And yeah, that's the main thing that I'm working on at the moment that I'm excited for.
Excellent.
Hey, Meg, I got to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
What are you calling the mentorship with the astrology things that you're going to be doing? And when are we starting that?
So Astrology Club, that's going to be in October, most likely. Yeah, October. Okay. My husband and I are moving back to Canada. So that's going to be happening in like a month.
We're going to be closer. We're going to be closer.
Yeah, I'll be closer. Well, I don't know if I'm closer now to you, Ally, or if
I think you bang smack in the middle.
It's like
bang,
right
so
in the middle.
too.
Yeah.
We all just can't wait for those portals to open so we can literally kind of step in and just have tea and then just go home again.
And
we need those.
Yes, we do need those. So yeah, we're like in a moving situation right now. So it'll be in October that Astrology Club will start. Yeah.
And you also give personal readings, right? I think I've had a personal reading with you. Lynn has. Have you had a personal reading with Meg, Kaila?
Not yet, but I do definitely want to.
And so how far in advance are people booking now? Are we into like June 25 yet, or?
Not quite yet, June 25, but November. And here's Ocean. He's coming.
Oh, you got a kitty.
Okay.
Look at the kitty. Look at that.
Hello,
Isn't that a kitty?
Hi.
That's a kitty.
He loves beautiful ladies. So
like all good boy animals do.
How old is he?
He is 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
Really?
13 or 14. I'm not sure. He's my husband's cat. So my husband got him with their mommy number 1, as I like to call. And then ever since I moved to Belgium 4 years ago, I'm their new cat mom. So
oh, he's so cute.
Nice.
13 years old. Oh my goodness.
So is Ocean moving to Canada with you guys?
Yes.
You can't leave him.
He's the one that's packing the bags.
Yeah.
With his paws. So you know what I wanted to ask you, Meg, all this time? I mean, like Ellie said, Lynn is the number 1 student, and then Kaila's right after, and then Ally, and then I'm kind of like, I have so much on my plate that I'm really, I have all of these classes that I purchased, and I was like, I'm going to get to it, and I will get to it, because astrology is the first thing that I've ever kind of got my attention. But what I wanted to ask you, since you've been living in Belgium, right? And I lived in Italy for years. I sang and did television, did all that stuff.
She used to be a model.
Oh, back in the day. Back in the day, that was long ago and far away.
Wow.
But did you learn the language?
Sorry?
Did you learn the language in Belgium, like
Yeah,
French
I had to take Dutch classes. So in Belgium, half of it is, well, most of it is Dutch speaking, and then the other part is French speaking. It's a very divided
I know all the
country.
French speaking ones. I thought they were more French speaking than.
Yeah, they're more Dutch speaking. I thought they were more French as well before I came to Belgium. So to get my European resident card, which it doesn't even, like, the whole process of Jens and I's relationship doesn't make any logical sense. How I was able to come here during the pandemic. Is it okay for me to use that word on here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How I got my European resident card, like none of it, and I don't think I can talk publicly about it quite yet, but one day I will tell the full story of how that all went down. But to get my European resident card, I had to do Dutch classes. So I've done Dutch classes. But where we live in Belgium, they don't speak just like Holland Dutch, the traditional Dutch. They speak
a weird dialect, is it?
dialect called Flemish,
Yeah.
which is,
I heard of that one.
It's like Scottish. It's like learning American English, but they're speaking the most intense Scottish accent.
It's like going down to Louisiana and the Bayou, where you've got the French Creoles, probably.
Yeah.
It's like a very hard dialect. So I can understand like 50% of what they're saying, but I'm not able to converse in it.
Right.
I can say basic things, but I can't like have conversations with them.
So if I said like I learned a couple things just to say hello in Dutch. So if I say hoe gaat het goed or hoe gaat het, do you understand what I'm saying? Hoe gaat het?
How are you?
Like, yeah, and
yeah,
good, right?
Yeah, goed.
Yeah, goed. And hoe heet je? It's like, what's your name? Is that what's your name? Hoe heet je?
That might be a variation on what your name is. There's a bunch of different variations of all the Dutch things. So
I love languages, so I was so inspired when I heard that you were living there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful language.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So, do you have any questions for us, Meg, that you want us to pull cards on, either personally or on a global perspective? I mean, what's playing on your mind right now?
Well, I'm happy that you asked, because what's playing on my mind is this move to Canada. Right. It's a little bit stressful, to be honest with you, because we've got the cats coming over. We've got some documents that we need to sort out with cats, which we're going to need another miracle of that. And so maybe like our transition moving to Canada. That would be my main question.
Okay, so what's your question exactly? Will everything go well? Is there anything that you particularly need to work on?
Yes, there's Jens's immigration procedure, which we're not sure exactly how long that is going to take. So I'm hoping that he will have his Canadian resident card by the end of the year. So maybe asking, is that likely to show up for us by the end of the year?
Okay. And who would you like to pull cards for you for this one?
You
can choose.
Maybe Lynn.
Okay.
This is fun.
So we have a really high-tech way of doing this, Meg.
Okay.
We have worked out a few ways of doing it, but honestly, this is our best way until we get StreamYard or something like that. So we basically pull the cards, we take a picture, and then we share screen. So it's really cool.
We upload it on Telegram.
Yeah, it's on Telegram. It's really.
I mean, it's a small channel right now, and we're not racing to get big or anything like that. We just want to put the message out there and be on the front line as truthers, and spiritual people. So,
Meg, deck 1, 2, or 3?
3.
So we were just saying just before you came on that we just saw your Astro Woo for like August and the full moon. Yeah. We were like, oh, what the fuck?
Seriously, what the fuck? Yeah.
Oh my God. Excuse my
Oh,
puppers.
really?
Yeah, that's gonna be buck wild, I was saying. That's gonna be, like I was saying, one of the weirdest days of our life. I'm praying and setting positive energy that it's not going to go into a, Uranian, Aquarian, chaotic place, but it's going to be challenging. Full moon for sure, with some shocks and surprises, but to keep it as high timeline as possible. And it's interesting that it's exactly conjunct the moon of the US. I found that really interesting too.
Wow.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too crazy for me because I'm an Aquarius sun. So yeah.
Are your puppies barking?
And I'm a Cancer sun, so I know you said it was going to be fun for me too. Woohoo!
Yeah.
But at least the Sag rising should settle us out, Ally. Ally and I are both Sag rising, so.
You Sag risings get through anything. It just works
Somehow.
out for the Saggies.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was in the gym and I was listening to you and I was going, oh my God, what the hell?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Those are cool cards.
these are cool cards. All right, Lynn. Right. So talk us through Lynn. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Jens is the Knight of Swords. We got the Five of Swords, so it looks like you might have maybe a few little setbacks, but okay. Queen of Swords is in the background. The Queen of Cups.
So how did you actually formulate the question?
Will Jens get his Canadian
resident card by the end of the year.
card by the end of the year?
Yeah, by the end of the year.
So you got the Page of the Cups and the Star and the. I think he's going to. I just think you guys might have some setbacks. Do you guys have to use an attorney, Meg?
Yeah, we have an immigration lawyer.
Okay, well, what I can give you from personal experience with immigration lawyers, stay on top of them and double check everything they tell you, because they will charge you a lot of money, and make sure they are good immigration lawyers, because there's lawyers that will tell you they are immigration lawyers and they're not. It's just their ego and they'll do it. Because with my business, we had a Canadian dentist that wanted to come over. She paid like $5,000 to a friend who said she could get her over, and she didn't. And I walked her through the process and got her over.
Right.
So just be really careful. I think that's kind of where I'm getting some of the swords and the pentacles and stuff like that. The Two of Pentacles.
Okay.
What do you girls think?
Yeah, with that Six of Pentacles, I think that you're going to get help from someone. Help from someone or some organization or whatever. But with that Two of Pentacles, he'll get there. It'll be fine. You
juggling a lot of things.
Yeah. And I think you've just got to chill with that Fool in the bottom row as well. Just let it be. It will sort itself out. And definitely with that Five of Swords, there's going to be a few little challenges happening, but I think it'll all be good. But I can see how you're gonna feel a little bit, is it gonna actually work out? But I think it will. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. I think we're already experiencing some of the setbacks, so that's interesting that that's coming up.
What's at the bottom of the deck, Lynn?
That's the Magician.
Magician. Okay. Yeah. So, and the clarifiers look quite good, right? Is that the Two of Cups and Star? So
it's a Page of Cups.
Page of Cups.
Yeah.
Page of Cups, right? So manifesting that it's gonna pull through, but with some temporary setbacks and so on. So we're all pushing through good energy for you that is gonna come through and as quickly as possible.
Yeah. The Magician is at the bottom of the deck, so that's basically a bird's eye view of everything, of everything like coming down after everything happens, like in the spread. So it's like an overview, and it is tricky. It is tricky.
You guys are going to have to use your magic to make it happen.
Yeah.
Manifest it, mate. Manifest it.
Yeah. But with that Page of Cups aspected with the Star, I think there's going to be some type of surprising either a person or a situation or an easiness that's going to drop in your lap and say, wow, I'm glad that happened, or I'm glad that person came in, or I'm glad we did that. Kind of like it's going to be a surprising element. The Page of Cups is a little, you see that he has a little, well, in the regular deck, the Rider-Waite deck, he has the Page of Cups has a cup and a fish is jumping out. So it's kind of like a surprising thing. You know, you don't usually have a fish in a cup. You just drink
Positive outcome, yeah.
Because
yeah,
it would be a
usually a
surprise
positive
if a fish jumped out of your cup, wouldn't it?
Well, if it was the Rider-Waite, I would say Meg was going to have a baby, probably.
Oh,
well,
that's
you know,
exciting.
it could be that. It could be that, but it's going to be some type of surprising element about it. And it's the stars are healing and hope and harmony, has a hope and harmony energy about it. So it's going to a surprise of healing and hope and healing and harmony. So, but it looks like it's coming through, because the outcome, the card at the bottom in the middle, is the Six of Pentacles, and that's somebody giving something to somebody. So that means that would be either they're going to give that to him, or somebody's going to give you help or something like that. But it looks pretty positive. We don't see any bad. We don't see any bad cards. You know, like
No.
but temporary, because that Five of Swords is it's kind of like it's like, you know, winning in an unfair way, or you know, hoops to jump through. But that's temporary because it's not a major arcana.
Yeah.
But you read cards too, right, Meg? Do you read tarot cards too?
You know, I'm very basic with the tarot. I'm fascinated by the tarot. I am not at your guys' level at all. So I absolutely love when people do readings for me. That gets me very excited. But now that I've been working with Janine for almost 2 years, I'm learning so much from Janine on a regular basis. The tarot, of course.
Yeah.
Please send all love to Janine. Janine has been so instrumental in all of our
Janine, if you watch.
Yeah, I'll send this to Janine. I'll share it with Janine.
Say, we're a girl.
So we have all come together basically because of Janine, and we absolutely love JC. And I have to hail out Coco, because even in Coco's show, she was very instrumental in me getting a reading with Madame Bay, which actually was very transformational. Just by hearing her story, I was like, no, I have to try. I don't speak French, but I have to at least try. And she did. She did the reading with a translator, and it was absolutely life-changing. So you guys, we love you all at Beyond Mystic, and we really appreciate all the work that you do, all of you.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. How was it like working with Janine? How was it like working with her?
I really like working with Janine because she's she's totally herself. How she is on camera is totally how Janine is off camera. She's very authentic. She's very spontaneous. Janine is not scripted whatsoever. And for me,
I don't think you could script her, right? She just comes across like there's no way you could tell her what to say.
Her. Yeah. We love
she is her authentic self, right? What's so cool for me as an astrologer is when you're an astrologer, it's a bit more prep work when you're talking about a subject or before you're going live. So I always have like tons of notes on my second screen. And I also have my sun in the 6th house of Virgo. So I'm a Scorpio, but I got a little bit of that Virgo, like
organization,
attention to details, organize everything, and
Scorpio here.
Yeah. And Scorpios are like that too. It's interesting. Scorpios are kind of similar to Virgos in that way. We need to like control how things are going to go, but working with Janine, I love it because she teaches me, Meg, just like let go of needing to control exactly how, the show is going to go, and just go with the flow. She's very go with the flow. And I love that about her. So it's a joy working with her.
She is so empowering. I think she has changed all of our whole way of viewing things. And I think that's why we're here. So that's so lovely.
Actually, she's the reason why I picked up the tarot cards, because I was thinking that, when you see people reading tarot cards, they have the crystal ball, and they have the foulard on their head, and they look like, hey, I'm gonna get you, my little pretty. And it's not really like that, It's when I saw her and she was like really normal and down to earth, I says, well, hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with picking up that. And I did. So she really inspired me to she opened my eyes to let me know that you don't have to look like they used to look back in the day, and there's nothing wrong with that
like
either.
Madame Zelda or something.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
so it's a new day. Tarot card readers look like us. They look like my postman, you know, or and she made me realize that when I started watching. She's really down to earth, just like you said. So I certainly agree with that. And thank you, Janine, for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I love that Janine also walks her talk. You know, she's been doing the tarot professionally for like most of her adult life, which is not easy. Like now tarot and astrology is becoming more mainstream and safe. It's becoming more accepted. But when she was doing it, I can imagine her in her 30s, 40s, 50s, it was probably not as accepted.
Just imagine the grief she got, right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're a tarot reader? You know?
And I don't know if you guys experienced that, but it's interesting because actually today as we're filming this, we had a very intense situation with one of our close friends who got like totally all of a sudden triggered by us and projected all over us his kind of, I don't know if jealousy is the right word or just that we trigger him because we're more in that conscious lifestyle. So it's interesting that we're having this talk because today we had that come up with one of our like close friends of like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Is
he
Yeah.
And actually on that note, I think it's really interesting. I watched Jans's podcast the other day about the spiritual which I think was really interesting. It was a great insight into it because not many people are talking about that, because I'm a naturopath and I'm very keen on trying to get this shit out of people's systems, but not many people are talking about the spiritual side. And I remember not long after it came out, I read about this, I think it was a Greek priest or a monk, and he basically said that he had this devil on his back for like months afterwards, and he almost killed himself and all kind of weird things. So and I think we've all seen like strange changes in people, so it doesn't really surprise me that people, you know, are doing strange things, unfortunately, like your friend, right?
Well, Ally,
like
you just go ahead, Kaila.
I was just going to say, I feel like we all know someone, at least one person around us who's sort of doing the same thing, you know, who's coming at you for being authentic and trying to go outside the box and not mainstream. And I'm seeing it more and more now, actually. There's high emotions. Yeah. That's all I wanted to add. Barb, go ahead.
Well, it's just weird that Ally said that, kind of, because, you know, when, you know, sometimes when people have that and they act in a different way, you know, they're kind of saying that doing that and having COVID, there's some type of connection between, I'm not going to get into what I think I know and what I've studied and what I've seen in other videos, but there's a connection. And it's something, because when I had COVID, I had the worst dreams. I mean, the worst nightmares and the worst thoughts in my head and everything. And it was just COVID. So if there is a real connection between COVID and the there's something that messes with your head and your spirituality, because it was awful. It really was. So
interesting. I've never heard of that before, of someone having like bad dreams when they had that. That's really interesting.
Oh yeah. I mean, bad dreams and bad thoughts too. I mean, just words come into your head like you know, all types of awful things, saying that, you know, making you think that, you know, you're nothing and you're not worth anything. You should just like leave this world and all that type of, it was horrible. And and I wasn't the only one that had those types of dreams when you had a really bad case of COVID.
And that's classic mind control stuff, isn't it? Which they can activate with all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I mean, nothing surprised me. I think I shared with you guys that mind control, someone else shared, I can't remember. It was that mind control video from like the 90s, and it's like a BBC thing. And it was like, that's it. That is exactly what they've been doing. And, you know, it was all from electromagnetic stuff from outside. And I'm watching this going, my God, that is exactly what they did. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it was scary. It
Crazy
was scary.
times.
And if there is some type of connection between those two things, I can see how I can mess up your spirituality or your mind or whatever, you know, if you have all that. Anyway, let's not talk about that, Ally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, darling.
Just want to say there's, as I'm sure you ladies know, there's unbelievable lengths that I call them the dark arts people are going to try to lower our vibrations, which I won't even say some of those things because I don't want to give it power.
You don't want to manifest it, yeah.
But it's unbelievable some of the things I've been learning recently that they've been trying to do. So protection is very, very important at this time. And I'm not going to be like, you're getting attacked, you need to protect yourself. But it's just like basic kind of light worker importance right now. I think protection.
And wearing your shungite now too, right?
Yeah.
Seems to be
yeah. Is there anything particularly weird that you've heard that's been happening that they've been trying to kind of do?
Shungite here, look at that.
Oh my goodness, that's a big bit of shungite.
I wear it here, but I don't want somebody to say, oh look, she looks like what's his name, the big devil guy. What's his name? I had the thing on his head. What's his name? I forget. No, the other one. No, the other one that no, the one that they're saying that is what's his name's father? Bush's wife's anyway, they were saying that he's her father. I forget his name, but he had that thing on his head, so I'm not gonna put it on my head. I'll just wear it. I'll just hold it like this. I'll think of it as soon as we get finished. I'll think of that name for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you're asking that, Ally, because what pops to mind right away is actually related to Jens and I. Right before I came on with you guys, we lied down for like 4 hours outside and we were watching the Perseid meteor shower.
Cool.
That annual meteor shower that's from middle of July to end of August, and we're just watching shooting stars and meteors. And I'm trying to do I have a Mayan spirit guide who's me in a past life that's always telling me, Meg, you're looking at the computer charts, but you need to go outside and know where the planets are. Actually do it that way. So I'm like trying to guess, okay, is that one Venus? Is that one Jupiter? So I'm looking at the sky. And then we see all these Starlink satellites in a row. Have you guys
like
ever
4 or 5 of them like all together, right?
Yeah. Have you ever seen that, Ally?
Yeah.
They look like UFOs.
Yeah. I've not seen them personally, but I've seen images of them. Yeah.
So when
you saw
you
them together?
Yeah, really creepy, like 30 in a row robots in the sky. So when you say what's going on, a lot is going on with the satellites. That is not just Starlink. It's not just the radio waves. They're targeting certain people with the satellites to try to lower our vibrations.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds totally crazy and paranoid.
Ole Demagogue. Yeah, Ole Demagogue has said that that's what they've used to control people and make them go crazy and stuff like that when they're trying to report things. So no, that makes total sense. I've heard that before.
And with the astrology, it's interesting because we got Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is retrograde right now in Aquarius, going to go back into Capricorn for the last time this fall. And then November 19th, we're full on in Pluto and Aquarius for 20 years. But Pluto is not just empowerment, healing, transformation. It's the revealer of the shadow. And Aquarius rules technology. So it's interesting that you asked that because I was sitting outside and I was looking at the satellites and the meteors. And I thought, okay, one of the things with Pluto and Aquarius is all this shit is about to get revealed in the next 3 years. Because that happens the first years that Pluto is in a sign. He reveals all the dark aspects of that area.
Yeah.
Also brings healing. So I am excited, Pluto and Aquarius, I do believe there will be full healing modalities for people that have had the you-know-whats. But I don't think it's going to just be super easy. Like people need to take accountability and they're going to have to do a protocol, the naturopath kind of thing that you're probably doing, Ally. Plus maybe some intense, med beds, or I see healing beds psychically that people will have to lie in, and it won't be easy.
I've been watching a lot of things.
That makes sense.
I've been watching a lot of things recently about water, and that and a lot of people are talking about water and how healing water is, and someone was saying yesterday, they were saying that water is the med bed, which I was thinking, wow. Yeah, there's so much coming out about how cool, you know, it is. But I do hope, but just to say, even if we have this magical med bed, you can't have someone just get on there and then they do exactly what they did to screw themselves up to get on there. You know, they like say they have to go through a process. So, but can you imagine for the average person how far they're going to have to go to even get on the med bed at the moment? You know, there's, you know, so some people are just so like, what the, you know, they're so in love with the mainstream. You know, there's a lot to crumble.
I kind of agree with Janine when she says, well, you know, a lot of people ask her about the med beds. When will we see the med beds? When will the med beds come out? Who could get on med bed? And so she saw that there might not be like a med bed per se, like a big old bed that you just lay in. And that maybe it could be, but she thinks that there's going to be, at least she saw that there's going to be a lot of different technologies that are coming out. Actually, we're already seeing them. You know, they have this whole full body scanner that could scan, and it could tell you exactly what's up with which system. I had one of those done back in September, and then they had another thing that up in Canada, somebody else was telling us about it. Another thing that you can sit in, and it could read other things. I mean, it's already coming out. You know.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know if it's going to be like this big day where they're going to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have the med beds." I think things are just going to slowly, you know.
Yeah.
And there's probably like lots and lots of stuff that will just come out to the mainstream that has been around forever that has just been suppressed. Like just an example, I study and practice iridology, which is the study of the iris, which is connected to every single part of you. So I can look at your eyes and go, well, your kidneys are not so great, and maybe, you know, you've got a bit of asthma happening, and you know, and that's almost as good as taking a blood test without, you know, having to take the blood. So there's probably a billion other kind of things like that.
Homeopathy will come, and your naturopath. I think that, you know, the apothecary, our witchy selves coming back to practice, you know, sound.
There's so much that we ourselves have forgotten, that we have the energy and the power to just heal ourselves if we just connect, right? And I think Lynn and I often have this conversation that we don't think it is going to be as easy as, hey, there's a med bed. Then people don't go through the process of realizing their own power, you know, because it's just going to be too easy. So we, you know, we have to go through that process.
And already people already thinking that they can find a magic bullet. You know, you do everything for years and years and years to get to that sickness that you had, and they want the magic bullet of a pill or being cut or being burned or something like that, you know. But when people see all of this stuff that we already are exposed to, they're gonna probably lose their shit. They're gonna, what? All this really existed before? You know, so it's gonna be wonderful. Interesting, at least. Oh boy, we're going way off on this subject. Oh my gosh.
That's all right.
What time is it? What time is it? Because I know it's late for Meg, because I know it's late over there now.
We're good.
Do you have any other questions for us, Meg? Do you want us to draw cards on?
Throw us some questions, Meg.
Since we got off topic.
Okay. I'm very curious about Pluto going back into Capricorn, September to November, for the very last time in our lives. A lot of us astrologers are freaking out about that. You know, what's going to happen? Maybe, is it okay to do a collective? Can we do like a collective? Like, what is that going to bring for us on the timeline that we're on right now? What can we expect?
And who would you like to pull? I think
Kaila's got to grab the cards.
Kaila's already.
Meg can pick if she wishes.
Kaila's a fast draw.
She's like, go, Kaila.
Let's do you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Kaila knows a lot more about these about astrology than me or Ally would. So
particularly, Lynn is our champion.
But she pulled already, so she pulled already. Now You'll
Meg,
burn out.
I know recently Meg has been saying, you know, she tells it like it is, but besides telling it like it is, I think you're so empowering with your astrology, and I really appreciate that because I grew up with loving astrology to an extent, but then being a Libra, you know, liking the details. Sometimes you can get caught up in the details, and it's like, okay, that you can't do anything to change it, but you show how to use the energy to work with the energy, and I really love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
have to say,
awesome.
Meg, one of my favorite things is when you like draw your cards or you pull up a chart and you go, holy guacamole. I love that. You know, it's
says
Meg
that.
when Meg goes, holy guacamole.
I don't realize how often I say that. Jens and I, we just hosted this Sacred England retreat
Yeah.
with 18 people from all over the world. And the whole time they were all going, Meg, holy guacamole. I'm like, do I really say it that much? Okay.
Yeah, so what was your best thing about that little trip? What are the best place you went, or anything you learned?
Oh my God. The importance of us being together in person, like-minded community being together in person, that is going to heal the world. And, you know, the darker forces do not want us to do that. And we need to do it anyways. It was awesome to go to sacred sites, and we had some very magical experiences and met magical people all over that part of the UK. Ally, I'm sure you're familiar with, like Wiltshire and Cornwall, and
they're beautiful. But I
amazing.
have to say, how was Cornwall? Because I was there last July and we saw a lot of drunk people.
Really?
We saw a lot, Meg, let me tell you. We saw people doing Jaeger bombs in Sainsbury's car park at 3 p.m. We saw there was this dude that got on the bus with a bottle of port who was talking to himself. There was people that wanted to have a fight in Tesco's at midday. There was all sorts of fun stuff happening, and maybe it was just where we were, I'm not sure, but yeah, there was some interesting things happening in Cornwall.
There were people drinking there, and there was also a lot of people drinking in London as well.
There's
like
a
on
lot
the
of booze
tube,
going on, isn't there?
which is normal. I know that's normal in the UK to do it in public places, but there's just, and I'm noticing that too with people that have been, you know what, it's like, I'm noticing them drinking more. I'm noticing them doing things. I don't know why they're doing that, but I'm noticing that more with them.
It's
Maybe
always
it's a subconscious coping mechanism or something. I don't
it's
know.
always
I
an
think so,
escape.
yeah.
I mean, alcohol and drugs are always an escape from your life. So it's obviously
Right.
something in their life that they don't want to face or they want to get out of. But as we know, that always makes it.
Or they
worse,
could be having sick symptoms and doctors can't figure it out, so they're self-medicating too.
Yeah.
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 Right, Kaila, talk us through how what was the question again? I forgot.
What is the Pluto in Capricorn
yeah.
transit going to bring for the collective?
Okay.
What can we expect?
So in the past, I think a lot of us have been working on ourselves, and we're seeing the pentacles. So it has to do with that Capricorn energy, has to do with physical things, whether it be physical abundance, whether it be material stuff in our lives that we're working on. The collective comes up as the 7 of Wands, and again, it has to do with our community. So this represents us who are sort of fending off the norm. We are standing in our power and believing in ourselves. And what I'm seeing below is the King of Wands. And so what the focus is more on our intuitive and spiritual side. So the focus transfers to sort of standing in your power even more. And then we have, for that period of time, is the Queen of Pentacles. And this is not surprising. It's very Capricorn energy with the Pentacles again. So it has to do with connecting more to nature, being in abundance, the physical things that bring us our power, standing in our truth. We are speaking more. We are focusing more on that, creating that abundant energy for ourselves. And in the environment, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So it has to do with, again, our independence and standing in our power, not going with what we've been told in the past. And what we have in the outcome is there's a strong foundation here. We have the 3 of Pentacles. I think what's happening is people are coming together, working in groups, going to that center. And again, we have so many pentacles here, and it's not surprising because we're talking about, you know, moving and trying to transition into this new world that we're trying to build. So we have the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords coming together, and these are very positive aspects. So we're standing in our power, we're speaking our truth, and it's encouraging you to do that. And it's encouraging you to go inside and go to that intuitive side, that side that's very connected and stands for that spiritual strength inside. And I think what's going to happen is a lot is going to come up more about the children. We have the Page of Cups and we have the Hierophant. So the focus is on who has been doing bad things with the little ones. And there's a light being shone on that even more with the Hermit card. And I think the focus is on that old soul energy coming forward. And we're seeing a lot of transition, and we're trying to bring in that newness, that new world. That's what I'm seeing with these cards.
Wow.
Yes, well said, well said.
Nice. And what's really interesting is there
so it looks like a brand new world. It's like a brand new world, brand new
in
focus.
process, yeah.
Yes.
And there's not any really horrible bad cards here. You know, we haven't got any devils, we haven't got any towers. You know, we got the Hierophant, which is a little bit iffy, and the Seven of Wands, but it's nothing really bad. You know, so that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That Page of Cups with the Hierophant could also be read as people to be surprised about their own spirituality. I mean, because the Hierophant isn't always you know, bad.
No, it's a teacher.
Actually is well aspected. It's positively aspected. So I see a lot of people that are going to start going within. It's going to be like a new world. People are going to have a different outlook on life.
Yeah.
People are going to have a different approach to everything, and probably a more spiritual approach with that Hermit and the Hierophant in the same pool.
Yeah. And the King of Wands, yeah.
Sure.
And I think that there's going to be lots of surprises with that Page of Cups as well. There's lots of fishes jumping out of our cups, speaking.
And that Seven of Wands, that very first card with the man with the stick, looks like he's fighting. They have the King of Wands underneath. So it looks like people are going to really start putting their foot down on what they really want in life, what they're focusing on, what they're going to be, what they're manifesting, and be very, very grounded with it. That's what I see in this too. Yeah. It looks pretty good, that movement that's going to be happening, Meg.
Have you got any questions based on what you've just heard, or that particular spread that you want us to pull any more clarifiers on, or does that kind of answer your questions?
I've been really thinking a lot about like what's going to happen to our normie friends and family.
Right.
You know, what's coming up for them? Is this going to be, of course, they have to go through that.
That's a great question, actually.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever pulled on that, you guys. Yeah.
You know, next year, 2025, really interesting. We're going to have Saturn and Neptune conjunct, but they're going to be exactly conjunct February 2026, if I'm remembering correctly at the top of my head, at 0 degrees of Aries, Lynn. So Aries, 0 degree, critical degree, Saturn and Neptune, the start of a whole new world and structure of space and time, Saturn.
Ooh.
But also when they conjunct, it won't be exact, but it'll be almost exact in 2025. It's at Pisces 29 degrees, which Saturn is granddaddy Saturn, challenge, wisdom, you know, success in its life side, conjunct Neptune, which is healing institutions, disease. So is it like, as an astrologer, I'm going, okay, is 2025 going to be the breakdown for these people, and then 2026 is going to be the breakthrough, and there's maybe going to be a healing crisis that comes up? Kind of what I'm seeing astrologically, but wondering maybe in the cards if it's worth asking, like, what can we expect for them? Their journey is the collective of those that have not had, you know,
enlightenment yet.
My friend Navajo Nation says last year, Jens and I spent a whole day at the Navajo Nation off-grid. And a man, I'm having a brain fart of his name, at the moment. I think he gave us his spirit name. I'm forgetting what his other name was. He was saying, you know, Meg, it all comes down to the mind, body, spirit connection. You Westerners have lost the mind, body, spirit connection, right? So the normies, they're in their mind, they're in their body, but they don't even believe in spirit. So that's cut off completely, right? So that journey of them coming back into the mind, body, spirit, and some of them won't want to. Some of them are going to leave.
Right. We know this isn't for everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what do you think is the right way to frame that?
Well, do you want to go between now and 2026, or look at just the astrology between now and just the end of this year? What's going to happen to them?
Yeah, let's how about let's start off with like until the end of the year, then we can always pull on further time frames, because I think this year there's going to be a lot of stuff happening that's just going to freak them out. Barb, go on, pull, lass.
All righty, I'll pull.
I love how you ladies do this together. This is so cool.
Collectively.
Yeah. I haven't seen any other channels yet that have like a group of people that pull together. I
Because
haven't
we're
seen that yet.
unique, Barb.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like to talk like
It's
her. I like to talk like
just-
her.
Oh yes, we also have Barb brings all of the comedy, and we missed her the last two
Oh.
shows.
Yeah, I was
It's
traveling.
interesting
I was over in Italy actually.
Wow.
It's interesting. We
So-
started to do this just as practice, like after doing the tarot course, and we were like, no, this is really nice. You know, it's a good energy. Let's see if we can bring something to the people. And this is actually what we all wanted to do, because each one of us have our own, you know, stories of waking up and then coming forward. We're like, no, what's happening in the world right now, this is not for us. We all have a role to play, and so each of us have our unique ways of trying to help and trying. I remember I was doing some sales and marketing stuff because I was trying to start a new business, and I was just bouncing upon people who had all these strategies but behind it all, there's nothing. It was just flat. I was like, no, if it's not spiritual, if it's not helpful, if it's not empowering, if it's not authentic and real, like meant to help and meant to bring forward something of value into the spiritual new woo world that we want to create, then it's not worth it. And that's what brought us all together.
Yeah,
that's
well said, Kaila. Well
Yeah,
said.
we appreciate Beyond Mystic so much, because you guys were like the driving force behind bringing us together.
Yeah.
It was destined, Kaila.
Yeah.
It was written in the cards, literally.
Yeah.
And on the tail end of that, I wanted to know how I should formulate this question. How do you all want me to ask this?
What will happen to the normies between now and the end of the year with all the
what can
everything coming out with it? Just say it that way, I guess.
Yeah, Meg, so what was your favorite bit of the Olympics opening ceremony?
Oh my God. My favorite bit, maybe because I'm a crazy Scorpio, was I actually laughed out loud when I saw that woman with her head cut off.
Me too. I love that.
Marie Antoinette.
I was like, this is, why am I liking this right now? This is not like good guys trying to do this for a creative reason. This is like black magic, but I'm laughing at it. Oh my God.
It was just brilliant, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. They have to go even more into in plain sight. They have to reveal themselves for who they are even more, because people aren't buying it anymore.
Yeah.
They can't draw off the energy. So that was insane, that opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was the same thing.
It was great. You had a headless red lady, and then with a backdrop of heavy metal. I'm like, that's perfect. You know, I mean, that's got everything to do with sport right there, hasn't it?
And then the building like blew up red.
Yeah. And, you know, it's kind of, everything ties together because Pluto is in Aquarius right now. And the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was the French Revolution.
Yes, exactly.
Where people got beheaded.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well.
Right?
I know.
So crazy.
I actually had my throat cut during that time.
What? Oh.
One of my past lives.
Oh,
Yeah, one of
okay.
my past lives. I
Oh,
was
this
used
is
and
looking
abused by
fun,
the
Bob.
royals, and I got away from them, and I was telling the resistance where to, I guess, and I met my death.
Bob, what can I say? This is looking fun.
Yeah.
A lot of
Well,
heartache.
What's your take on it? Love.
well, not only just heartache, a lot of people that have done this, you know what, they're having heart issues.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
there's that too.
Yeah.
So between now and the end of the year, I mean, there might be even more that's going on. When I do a question like this, when it has to do with health, a lot of times the Hierophant comes up, and that I almost get a download that that's like the medical field, the medical industry. So it's and with that, the Two of Cups, you see, Meg, the two people that have the cups come, that's like the past. But I'm doing like a global. It looks like there's going to be probably some more issues with people's hearts, and anybody can have heart issues, anybody. But when you've done that thing right there, it doesn't make it easier. So and the King of Wands is it's a lot of fire, it's a lot of passion, so it's a lot of harshness, let's say, aspected with the Three of Swords. So very harsh, very serious issues.
How did you word the question, Barbara?
The way you said it, how did you say that? How is it going to look for people that have done the, you know what?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was how are they going to handle things? But that's okay. At least we know how you phrase the question. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How would they have it? However you said the question, that's how I thought of it. I thought of it, and I threw the cards out. But sometimes the cards tell us what they want us to know.
Yeah.
You know. So, in either way, with the Three of Swords, that doesn't look really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with the Four of Swords down there, that could mean they might need more rest. That could also mean sickness. There's a lot going on there, but it doesn't look absolutely great because the first card that I put down was a Three of Swords. So heartache, maybe heart issues, sicknesses that they don't even realize that they have until it's kind of late. What do you all have to say about this?
I think it's good with the Hanged Man though. In the near future, I think some of them will be enlightened, especially next to that Hermit. But yeah, with that Four of Swords, that doesn't look particularly great. I reckon some of them will get exit stage left. But you know, in the background with that Two of Cups, it's all been contractually agreed upon. You know, this is what they agreed to.
Soul contract.
Exactly. Exactamonto. It's interesting. What do you guys get with that seven of Swords and
the strategy
and the Page of Swords? But what sort of strategy do you think will happen?
I think we're gonna have to be, well, besides us, if we're dealing directly with people or the news coming out, we can see that's happening right now. They're sort of taking it in a sort of systematic, slower way than a lot of us would like, because we like to see things move and progress. But there's going to be, this news is going to hit them quite hard, and there's going to be a need to be strategic about how you speak to them, how you communicate the information that we know. They're going to need help. They're going to need us to be there for them. And with that Page of Wands, I sort of get the feeling that even though you explain to them, there's going to be some of them who will only absorb this much. Like it's going to be so heartbreaking to a lot of them that it's like if they're not going to be able to absorb all of it, you know. So we're going to have to be really strategic with how we talk to them, how we bring about what we know to them. And this is why things, I believe, is moving very strategically in the background with the white hats, you know, because of this, to try to avoid this situation where it's going to be too much for them. But with the Hanged Man, definitely it's going to cause them to have to start look at things in a totally new way, in a different way. and, you know, enlightenment is what is needed. So, yeah.
Have you still got your deck there, Barb?
I do.
Can you just pull a couple of cards off the top and ask how it's going to look for them in 2025?
Okay, I got the
It gets better.
the Queen of Cups came first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like almost obsessed, almost sad type thing going on in it. Yeah, very emotional. Cups are emotions. So people are going to be like, some could be different. Well, it was aspected with the Four of Cups. Fours are closed members. So it's like, they don't want to hear it. There's probably going to still be some people that don't want to hear it. You know, they're going to be looking here instead of looking down here. And there's going to be people, some people are going to be maybe depressed, maybe obsessed, maybe looking at the system, the health system. Like, I don't know. They're going to be very, very concentrated for sure.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? That Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck, after everything is said and done, I also feel that because that Page of Wands is a new beginning, and he's enthusiastic as well.
Just about to say that, yeah, a new start, a new land, almost a new earth. That's how it feels.
Well, for sure, there's going to be new passion because wands are the passion and fire and that type of energy. So I think after all of that is said and done, I think there might be like coming down towards everyone that there'll be that they have a new outlook on things. Yeah, Page of Wands. He shows a little bit of enthusiasm in the Page of Wands. So might have to go through that, and that's look according to the cards. That's what people that have had that, you know what, are going to be going through. I personally know some people that are already going through that right now. Like they're saying, what the hell did I do? And you never hear anybody really saying, and I'm not picking on anybody because I have people that are very dear to me and I love that have done that. And some of them are really starting to look around and say, well, what did I do? I mean, how come I feel a certain way? I've never had this and I've never had that. And it says, well, Barbara, maybe what you're saying has some sense because, you're not a doctor, you're not a nurse, you're not a judge, you're not any of that stuff. So it's kind of like they find it kind of hard to listen to people that don't have a degree or some type of certification like Ally does.
Of paper, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So they're starting to feel that way now. And some of them are starting to say, hey, look, well, I'm going to do my research. I researched this, I researched that. And that makes me feel really good that they're taking responsibility for themselves, taking responsibility for their own health.
Yeah.
Can I share something that I noticed? I'm not tarot aficionados like you, but that bottom part with the Hermit, the Hanged Man, and what was the other one there?
The Four of Swords.
The Four of Swords.
What is that one look like? The Four of Swords. Oh yeah,
Four of Swords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just looking at that, and I know some of the meanings of some of those cards, but not as in depth as you all do. It makes me feel like having to take, like the Hermit makes me feel like they have to really introspect and look within and take responsibility for what they've done. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like there's not going to be, like I think you said, Ally, or one of you said, that magic bullet pill, right? This is like the Hangman. They're going to have to totally shift perspective of, oh, this is actually going to be like work that I might have to like stop working for a bit, or I might have to like totally change my lifestyle to start this path of that Four of Swords, either healing or am I going to want to check out? It's like take that responsibility. And I keep thinking of my friend Astrid. Sorry, my cat's going crazy right now. My astrology sister Astrid, who sometimes I do videos with, astrology videos. Astrid almost died a few years ago of Lyme disease. Okay. And when she found out she had Lyme disease, she did all these different healing modalities. None of it was working. None of it worked. And it's interesting because and she's okay with me saying this because she talks about it publicly.
Mm.
In her chart, she's a Virgo rising, health issues or mental health, with Chiron exactly conjunct the rising. So being the wounded healer, right? What Astrid had to do, she had to go to Germany. They had to pay like 15,000 euros or something like that for them to do this treatment. I'm forgetting what it's called, where she went into this tube, they knocked her out, they put her body to 50 degrees Celsius. She went into cardiac arrest and she sweat out all the lime.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know, when we're talking about this whole, you know, the people who have had the, you know what, it's like, it's not going to be easy.
No.
And I'm not calling that in for them. I want it to be easy. I want to be wrong about that. But it's like, if you think about what has been done to them on the cellular level,
Yeah.
what is going to need to be done to really take that
Extract
out?
it.
Yeah.
That's going to be freaking intense. And I think there will be people that will be like on the subconscious level, yeah, I'm just going to check out, actually.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that is one thing, but even people getting into their heads what they've done to themselves and even what they've done to their family members and children and things like that is going to be so much to get over, that just, you say, some people just go, I can't, that's it. Yeah,
I know some people that personally are going through that right now, and they're looking for answers. And all of the time that I've been talking about, I mean, for years I've been on this kick where I'm just researching. I want to know. And the deeper I get, the deeper I go, and the more answers and more questions I formulate. And calling me the crazy one, but now they come to me and say, well, hey, what about that so and so? They never say, hey, you were right about so and so, but they do say, what about that so and so? And I'm so happy. But I never say, hey, I told you so. I just say, oh, well, yeah, well, I got that thing there for you. But it made sense, Meg, what you said about the hermit, because that Four of Swords with the guy laying down, a lot of people see that card as scary and in a coffin, but it's not. He's actually meditating too. He has his hands up like he's meditating. So meditating and going within, and that hangman with the halo around his head. In fact, sometimes when I read for people, I turn the hangman upside down so they can actually see he's in a yoga position and he has a halo around his head. So he's like really meditating. So the three bottom cards were like in meditation and going within. So that made a lot of sense what you said.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting for us that are kind of conscious, for lack of a better word. We're going to have to be really strong in these upcoming times. Continue to be strong.
I've been thinking for a while that what I'm going to have to do at some point is just to get people together and just go, right, so this is what's happened, and literally lay it out for them. And it's not the right time yet, but I can just see that is what I'm going to have to do, for sure. And yeah, I think we're just going to have to explain a lot of things and just be the lighthouses that we are, basically.
Yeah, and it's already happening. It's already happening. It's already happening. Just this weekend, with my family members, because half my family members were down with that, and the other half weren't down with it. Because we have a big family, a lot of brothers and sisters, and then they're downline and they're downline. And a lot of us were down, a lot of them were down with it, and a lot of us weren't. So it's slowly coming through, and these conversations are being had already, which is a good thing, because it's good for people to take responsibility. I mean, there's one doctor and there's 100 people, and it's like, this guy's by himself. He's not going to have time for everybody. So why don't you kind of do something to help yourself? And then once you get there, you don't have to stay that long in his office. If the man needs help, And then whenever they do study, they study what the system wants them to study. So when they hear stuff like this, it blows their mind. So some doctors know, I think, and some of them don't know. So it's like, I used to be mad at doctors a long time ago. I used to be mad. I was like, all those years that you studied, you don't know doodly squat. And but sometimes they really don't know doodly squat because that's not what they studied. They study all these things, and then I think they study 4 hours of nutrition, 4 hours maybe.
Well, I mean, it's even stuff like, the heart is a pump, but the heart, that's not its main purpose. It's an energy center, and they're talking about it creates a toroidal field, so it creates our energy, They definitely didn't teach you that at school. Well, they didn't teach them at school. And why? Because they were taking apart dead people, so you're not going to see the energy, you're not going to see the frequency and all that kind of thing. So they're coming at it from the wrong angle. So yeah, that's going to be.
They just really just don't know. A lot of doctors don't know that the body wants to heal itself. The body needs to heal itself, and the body does have
heal itself.
The body can heal itself.
Yeah.
So but the way they look at it is like the body doesn't really know what it's supposed to do. But no, that's not really true, because if you cut yourself right there, you nip your finger, and then and it starts healing and closing up by itself. It's like there must be some type of consciousness about your body, but some doctors don't understand it because that's not what they're taught. So I can't get mad at doctors anymore. I used to get so furious at them, but I don't.
I still am a little bit mad. Working on that, but after you have kids and see them go through stuff, and they had no idea, because my son had his 2-month-old and had a severe reaction to that, and none of them, the entire hospital came to look at him, and none of them questioned that one thing that actually caused it. They questioned everything else, but they will not believe you. And I was the one who did the research and realized. So.
And I knew as soon as you told me, I said, oh, and she's like, oh God. Because I deal with it with dogs and the veterinarian aspect of it. I had a boy that had the rabies, and he had seizures for 8 years. I dealt with seizures all the time after that. And I had a puppy that's going to be 2, and his first vaccine, he went paralyzed. I almost lost him. So, yep. And they just think it's okay to keep sticking them. And then you get into the dosage sizes and everything else. And, they always say, oh, dogs can handle it. You don't know that. You don't have an animal communicator to ask them, do you?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's my soapbox.
That's all right.
It's a lot to deal. It's a lot to deal with. I mean, there's a lot going on. So
there's a lot.
Lynn,
ladies, we should let Meg go, probably.
I am very mindful that it's very late there, Meg. So I'm going to give you two options, because you're not going to get away that easily. If we've got you, then we're not going to let you go. So if you're still awake, we can do one more pull, or we can do a little song with Barb.
Ooh. Which song should we do?
Well, exactly.
Well, it is kind of late, and I know how it is, because I was over in Italy late before we did a video. I was like, oh, I'm about to fall asleep. I don't feel like singing. But I just feel that we found another sister.
I feel that we've got it could be a pentagon and not a circle.
and Meg Moonbeam. I feel we have a sister. So I feel like we're a family. Kind of like, so there's a song called We Are Family. You know that song? We are family. Come on, Meg. I got all my sisters with me.
I love that song.
We sing it, Meg. Come on. Yeah.
I got all my sisters with me.
Come on and sing it, Meg.
I don't know what words, but I love that song.
Yay.
Oh, Meg, it's been an absolute privilege. Absolute. Have you got any last questions? Any last kind of passing words of wisdom for us? What does spirit, because you always channel stuff and you're a bit of a medium stuff, what's spirit saying to you at the moment for us and for these crazy times?
Well, I've been feeling a lot lately like things are already not the same, and we're not going back to normal pre-2020, but it feels like by the end of this year, we will be totally out of that normal. So it makes sense with the cards, what we were getting for our normie friends and loved ones, and being excited about it, like changing the vibration of from fear. And I am a Scorpio, so sometimes I can be like in my negative thinking, it's the end of the world and I need to be totally prepped for like 15 years, you know. But shifting that into excitement of, wow, a whole new world where people are going to be conscious and we're going to be in truth and love, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's the age of Aquarius. Like, how exciting is that? So we're going to start to see that by the end of this year. So it's, I think, going to be challenging the next few months. I'm happy that the spread that we got for Pluto in Capricorn wasn't that severe. So that makes me feel really, really good.
Right? Yeah.
That made me feel good. But yeah, just a message of like, things are going to be completely different very soon. And that's just words, but the experience of that will come and it's going to be glorious.
How much longer do you think you see us on the Gregorian calendar? When are we getting off of this thing?
Yeah, I think we're going to be getting off of that thing probably it'll be within the next 10 years.
Okay.
Because if you look at the world, people are waking up so much and the consciousness is shifting so much that when we teeter-totter on that kind of like over, 50, 60% of the world is conscious, the calendar will naturally change. It will have to change.
That'll be cool.
Because we're more living naturally and consciously, right? And a lot of people are starting to realize that it's BS, that calendar.
Yeah.
Total BS.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even that long ago. They had the 13-month calendar. You're looking at Eastman Kodak Company in the 20s and 30s, and my family all worked there. So they probably all worked on that calendar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
So cool.
Oh, Meg, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much for staying up late for us. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see you again soon.
Well, please come back, Meg, because the next time you come back, whenever you have time, and the schedule when you move over to,
it'll be a slightly better time. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. I have a question for you. I'm not going to ask it now because it's late, and we'll get back into the whole thing. We'll do another half an hour.
We had some cool astrology questions for you chalked up just in case.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do another one. We'll do another one.
Yeah.
Yay. I'll see you Sunday. I've already signed up for the abundance. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Lynn's going to be there representing us if we can't be there.
I really want to
do that
too.
But
probably the time zone's going to be wonky for me, so I'll probably watch the recording, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Meg.
Awesome.
Thank you, Meg.
Thank you so much
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Send you lots of love. Bye.
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 Bye.